Is a long-necked, plant-eating dinosaur that lived over 100 million years ago in what is now Patagonia, Argentina. Maximo means maximum or most in Spanish, and he sure is. The cast reaches 122 feet across, stands 28 feet tall at the head. This display is modeled from the fossil bones of 7 individual dinosaurs of the same species excavated from a quarry in Argentina. Patagonia Titan weighed about 70 tons when it roamed the earth. Isn't that worth seeing?
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty spectacular. Yeah. Road trip. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, one business owner near Columbus says construction in the area could ruin his business.
A mother says her 12-year-old daughter took her own life at Janesville school.
And we'll tell you how much unused medication the state turned in on National Drug Take-Back Day.
This is News 3 at 5.
And with News 3, a business owner from Columbus says he could lose half of his business because of construction to replace and repair the pavement on U.S. Highway 151.
Our Roe Schmidt shares his frustrations and the Department of Transportation's response.
If you're driving on Highway 151 and you want to get off at County V, well, that's too bad because as you can see, the ramp is closed. So you have to get off at the next exit in Columbus and come back around.
Just a couple hundred feet off the County Road V exit.
I run one of the area's only full-service machine shop.
Is JRC Automotive. John Christian has owned the repair and machine shop since 1997.
I'm sort of in the middle of nowhere, but in the middle of everything. I'm 7 minutes to Columbus, 7 minutes to Sun Prairie, 7 minutes to Marshall, 7 minutes to DeForest.
But those 7 minutes are now looking more like 15 or 20 after the Department of Transportation closed the ramps to get on and off the highway. The DOT tells us those ramps will be closed until August.
It's really frustrating, and I let it get under my skin pretty hard last week, and it was very stressful.
Stressful because his customers can't easily get to his business.
That's not the worst of it. The worst of it really comes into the safety.
He says if first responders needed to get to the area, valuable minutes could be tacked on.
If the fire was here, they'd have to drive all the way past to come all the way back. It'd be 15 to 20 minutes additional fire response.
The department says it is aware of John's concerns, and workers have placed signs showing the exit is closed and how to detour around it. DOT says, as with all of its construction projects, it urges people to support their local businesses. John, though, isn't so sure.
I go, if my door's closed, if my driveway's closed, I don't have revenue, I don't have a budget, I go out of business.
The DOT says it also plans to close the bridge over County Road V for several weeks this summer. Outside of Columbus, I'm Roe Schmidt for WISC News 3.
John also asked the DOT to put up a sign nearby saying that his business is open, but the department says he has to work with the county and private property owners in order to do that.
A man charged in connection with multiple campus area attacks last fall was in court today asking to change his plea. 30-year-old Coleman Chung asked to change his plea to not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. He faces 8 felony charges in all, including second-degree sexual assault of an unconscious victim, attempted kidnapping, and use of a dangerous weapon. In one of the incidents, Chung allegedly struck his victim with a hatchet and attempted to put her in the trunk of his vehicle. He's due back in court July 12th for a motion hearing.
A Janesville mother is demanding action tonight after she says her 12-year-old daughter committed suicide this weekend after being bullied.
Rebecca Coughlin says the Janesville School District knew about the bullying but did not do enough to stop it. Our Rock County reporter Jenna Middaugh live in our bureau at the Janesville Gazette to share the mother's message. Jenna?
Eric and Susan, Rebecca says she wants to see more being done about bullying so other parents don't have to experience what she's going through. Rebecca says her 12-year-old daughter Elizabeth was spunky, goofy, artistic, and loving. She says she loved to make people laugh and dye her hair crazy colors. But after Elizabeth's dad died in 2016, her mom says the bullying started, and it got so bad Elizabeth took her own life this weekend.
The note she left said, "I love you, Mom. I just want you to be happy. And the only way that I can be happy is to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else."
Rebecca says both she and her mother did talk to Franklin Middle School about the bullying, but they say not enough was done. The school district says it can't comment on specific cases, but in a statement says the school district of Janesville has a long-established bullying prevention policy, and our staff work hard to model respectful behavior and ensure that students treat each other politely and in a caring manner. The school district did tell me that it has investigated 13 reports of bullying so far this school year.
Very sad story. Jenna Middaugh reporting from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette. Jenna, thank you.
Let's get a first check on the weather now. Gary Canalti is in the Weather Center. Gary?
Well, for the first time in a few days, we're not talking about record high temperatures or even 90-degree temperatures. The clouds and the showers and thunderstorms took care of that. You can still see plenty of clouds on visible cloud track. There have been a few breaks over southern Wisconsin, but a little narrow line of showers and thunderstorms is developing right along the Mississippi River. The more widespread area of showers and thunderstorms is actually over the eastern portion of the state. But once this last batch moves on through, it looks like most of the rain chances will be over with for the evening. But you can see some showers and thunderstorms from around Platteville, just to the east of Prairie du Chien, west of Richland Center, and up toward La Crosse, heading toward the east and northeast, and then also some showers and thunderstorms moving northward through Jefferson and Dodge counties. Rainfall amounts generally have been about a half inch to a little more than an inch in a band right through the central portion of our viewing area. Less than a half inch on either side of that, although some of those totals will be added to with showers and thunderstorms over the next few hours. Low temperatures this morning started out very mild in the upper 60s, but because of the clouds and showers and thunderstorms, high temperatures generally have been in the upper 70s. Janesville had a little bit of sunshine and they've jumped up to 82. Their current temperatures at 81, but everybody else seeing temperatures in the upper 70s, a few places lower 70s to the upper 60s. And as we check out our forecast for the overnight hours, look for skies to be mostly cloudy. Some areas of fog may form once the shower and thunderstorm chances end. We'll see a partly sunny day tomorrow. It'll be very warm and humid. High temperatures in the middle 80s and a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. That's your first alert forecast.
All right, thank you, Gary. 2 people are dead and 2 others are in critical condition after a crash in Walworth County. Deputies say it happened yesterday around 4:30 on Highway 12, just south of Sterlingworth Drive in the town of LaGrange. Officials say a car driven by 67-year-old Dennis Hinsey of Elkhorn crossed the center line and hit another car head-on. Dennis and his passenger, 60-year-old Joy Hinsey, died in the crash. The driver of the other car, Matthew Kilroy of Fort Atkinson, and a 15-year-old passenger were taken to the hospital and are in critical condition. Northbound lanes on Interstate 39 near Stoughton are open tonight after a crash involving several vehicles. State Patrol tells us 7 vehicles were involved, and while some people were hurt, their injuries are believed to be minor. The crash near mile marker 149 shut down lanes heading north for nearly 3 hours, with the all clear given around 3:15 this afternoon.
Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Shirley Abrahamson will not seek re-election next year. The 84-year-old issued a statement saying, quote, "For a variety of reasons, I have decided not to seek re-election." She calls it the right decision for her and for the state. Abrahamson, the first woman ever to serve the Wisconsin Supreme Court, assuming the bench in 1976. She has been ill in recent months and participating on cases by telephone only. Abrahamson says she intends to serve on the court through the end of her term, which is July 31st of 2019. The city of Madison planning for a $10 million sewer line project that could affect traffic on the city's northeast side. The new sewer line would run from Lean Road to the intersection of Highway 51 at Reeder Road. The project manager handed out flyers to business owners on Lean Road because 3 of the 4 options would involve construction there. All 4 options would involve tunneling under East Wash. But the sewerage district is not expecting construction to affect drivers on that busy route. There are, however, different traffic concerns with each of the choices.
One of the routes is going more towards MATC. The other one is basically down Highway 51 along the side, which also has its concerns because of that busy road, and that there's a hill actually. So it's constructability-wise and the amount of staging for that trench along Highway 51 is probably not ideal.
The project manager says during a robotic inspection back in 2011, the sewer line showed signs of corrosion. The sewerage district is hoping to have the route for the sewer line selected by the end of June, with construction beginning next summer.
63,000 pounds. That is how much unused medication the state of Wisconsin turned in on National Drug Take-Back Day. The Attorney General made the announcement today during a news conference. He said that is the third most in the country, just behind Texas and California, and it's more than Minnesota, Michigan, and Iowa combined. He said this is an important step in fighting the opioid epidemic, and he thanked area law enforcement for making sure it happened.
I'm so proud of our law enforcement community here for stepping up and making this a priority, because they recognize that it's not just about catching the drug traffickers, it's not just catching the criminals, it's also about prevention, about making our state safer and stronger.
Schimmel also thanked Fuchs Trucking, the company that carried the 3 truckloads of unused medication at cost to Indianapolis, where it was incinerated. Since the program started in 2015, the company has carried 19 truckloads for the cause.
President Trump signed an act that expands access to experimental drugs to patients with deadly diseases. The Right to Try Act is Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson's bill. The law gives patients who have exhausted other options access to potentially life-saving experimental drugs not approved by the FDA.
We weren't able to use them before. Now we can use them. A lot of that trying is going to be successful. I really believe that.
In a statement, the FDA says it is ready to implement the legislation in a way that protects patients.
New guidelines today from the American Cancer Society. It is recommending that adults begin screening for colorectal cancer at age 45 rather than at age 50. The recommendation is for anyone at average risk, and it's in response to an increase in colorectal cancer rates in younger and middle-aged adults. The new guidelines also call for, in some cases, to continue screening through age 85 rather than stopping at age 75.
Still ahead on News 3 at 5, the summit between the president and the North Korean leader could be back on. We'll tell you why.
And Tropical Depression Alberto is affecting parts of the Midwest, what it could mean for the coming months.
And a bounce-back day at Wall Street as U.S. stocks rose sharply. The Dow soars 306 points. The Nasdaq up 66 while the S&P jumped 34. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Harvey Weinstein has been indicted on rape and criminal sex act charges in New York City.
Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance Jr. announced the indictment today. He says it brings the former movie mogul another step closer to accountability. The indictment came hours after Weinstein's lawyers said he decided not to testify before the grand jury. They said there wasn't enough time to prepare because he learned the specific charges and the accusers' identities only after turning himself in Friday. Weinstein's lawyers say political pressure on the district attorney made an indictment unavoidable. Weinstein faces rape and criminal sex act charges involving 2 women.
The future of a summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un could be decided in the next 24 hours.
That's because Kim Jong-chol, the right-hand man to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, has arrived in the U.S. for talks with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Kim and Pompeo will have dinner this evening and discuss if it's possible to proceed with a June 12th summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un.
The conversation is going to be focused on denuclearization of the peninsula. As long as that is part of the discussion, we're going to continue to shoot for the June 12th and expect to do that.
For now, the Trump-Kim meeting is officially off, but both sides are preparing as if it will be on.
A St. Louis judge has agreed to dismiss a felony computer data tampering case against Missouri Governor Eric Greitens. The judge approved an agreement reached by Greitens' attorneys and the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office. Greitens announced his resignation yesterday. It's effective 5 p.m. Friday. Greitens also was indicted in February on invasion of privacy stemming from an alleged affair with his St. Louis hairdresser in 2015. The charge was dropped earlier this month. A special prosecutor is deciding whether to refile that case.
An exiled Russian journalist appeared at a news conference today about his own alleged murder. 41-year-old Arkady Babchenko apologized to his family and to those who thought he was dead. The dissident journalist said the real story is he'd been part of a police action to foil an actual attempt on his life. Babchenko's wife discovered her husband bleeding from gunshot wounds outside their apartment, and he supposedly died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. Ukrainian authorities say they've detained one of their citizens who was allegedly paid $40,000 by the Russians to get rid of Babchenko.
Fast-moving lava from Hawaii's Kilauea volcano has forced new emergency evacuations overnight. The most active fissure continuing to shoot molten rock hundreds of feet into the air. Lava has now destroyed 112 structures, including 71 homes. It has also forced the closure of Highway 132, a major artery for people who live there. That also leads to the main access road for the area's geothermal power plant. This eruption has been going on for about a month right now, and scientists say there is no word on when it might end.
After sparking landslides and flooding in North Carolina, rain from what was once subtropical storm Alberto caused more than an inch of rain to fall here in Madison today.
And meteorologist Dave Caulfield has more on how rare this taste of tropical rain is for those of us here in southern Wisconsin. Dave?
Eric and Susan, it really has been a crazy weather week so far across Wisconsin. From the first 4-day stretch of May of 90-degree temperatures to today's bout with Alberta, Wisconsin has had run-ins with tropical systems before, but to have one come through before the season officially starts and one that is still a tropical depression this far north is almost unheard of. Even though the center of the storm may miss us by hundreds of miles, storms like Alberto can have a hand in big rain events.
There's still a fairly substantial contribution to the importation of tropical water vapor content from Alberta, much farther north than the center of the storm. And we're the recipients of that today in our little rain event this morning, which was fairly impressive.
Historically, many summer flooding events are strongly connected to tropical systems. Now, Professor Martin says it's difficult to say if the trends of early heat or abnormal Alberto-like tropical systems will continue for the U.S. and Wisconsin specifically over the coming months, but definitely a crazy couple of days across the area.
Yeah, it was something seeing that system just move right up from the Panhandle. Still churning out rain.
Absolutely.
Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dave. Let's head out to the weather patio now, where it still feels pretty subtropical. Hi, Gary.
It sure does. You know, the heat is down, but boy, the air is still very humid out here. So we'll see one more day of humid weather and add a little bit of the heat back tomorrow, but then we should see a break in the heat and humidity by the end of the week. Now, as you take a look at visible cloud track, you can clearly see the remnants of Alberto moving through Indiana into southwestern Michigan, and we're kind of on the western fringes of that as the remnants remnants of Alberto lifted northward, it actually caused a weather system to the west to just kind of stall across southern Wisconsin, giving us the showers and thunderstorms. And as Professor Martin mentioned, some of that moisture from Alberto gets pulled into those thunderstorms as well. But now to our south and west, notice the skies clearing across Iowa and parts of Illinois. That's some drier air that is leading to a little narrow line of showers and thunderstorms just east of the Mississippi River. The showers and storms over eastern Wisconsin are generally on the western fringes of what was once Alberto. So you can see two little weather systems at play. Right now, Madison is in between them. But once these showers and thunderstorms near the Mississippi River move eastward, the threat for rain will probably end later on tonight. Rainfall amounts so far, a little more than an inch here in Madison, generally about a ½ inch to an inch in that band from north to south from around Monroe up through Madison and to the east of the Dells, whereas to the east of there and west of there, less than a ½ inch of rain has fallen, but both those areas getting a little bit more rain yet this afternoon. Tomorrow we're back up into the mid-80s for high temperatures, but temperatures will be back in the 70s beginning on Friday and lasting through the weekend, and then back to the low 80s early next week. So still above normal, just not as warm as we've been in recent days. As we check out the live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville, you can see one of the showers moving east of Platteville. That view is to the southeast. The WISC Skycam looking toward the west, starting to show the buildup of clouds and showers, thunderstorms to the west of us. The Edgewater Skycam looking to the west shows mostly cloudy skies. As we check out our almanac for today, the high temperature is 79 degrees, so first day in the last 5 that we haven't hit 90, but the low temperature is still pretty high at 68 thanks to the moisture. And right now we're sitting at 79 degrees. The air is calm, but the dew point is at 70, so the air very humid at 74%. Without the breeze, you don't even get much to mix the air up, make you feel a little bit cooler. Temperatures generally in the 60s and 70s across Wisconsin, but you can see some 80s to our south and west where the sunshine has returned. That's what we'll see for tomorrow. But as this storm lifts to the north, notice the clearing area to our south and west. There's the remnants of Alberto moving through Indiana, and then some of that moisture getting pulled into Wisconsin. To the south and west, again, where the sun is shining, temperatures are back in the 80s, so we'll see that happen for tomorrow. Our forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy, chance of an evening shower or thunderstorm, then turning partly cloudy and muggy overnight with some patchy fog toward morning, the low at 65. Tomorrow's high 86, very warm and humid, heat index 90 to 91, and a slight chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. On future track, you can see most of the rain moving out this evening, partly cloudy skies overnight with some fog, lows in the mid-60s. Highs tomorrow, mid-80s with just a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Tomorrow night, any showers and thunderstorms will end. Then we'll turn cloudy by morning with some areas of fog as low temperatures drop to 60 and wind shift to the northeast. And notice on Friday, we'll see some sunshine in the afternoon, but high temperatures only will be in the mid-70s. So a big change there, at least compared to the last few days. No heat, no humidity. 7-day forecast, upper 70s for the weekend. Shower thunderstorm chance late Saturday into Saturday night. Any showers ending early on Sunday. Some midweek to mid to latter part week rains next week, but also some plenty of dry hours. High temperatures upper 70s to around 80 degrees. As we take a look at first alert traffic, things slow on the Beltline. This is the live view from the DOT camera at Park Street, especially in the westbound direction. Seeing delays westbound from around Fish Hatchery Road back to around West Broadway. Eastbound on the Beltline, delays from West Broadway back to almost to Verona Road. 18 minutes from University Avenue to the interstate in the eastbound direction on the Beltline. 19 minutes going back westbound. Heading down toward Janesville, 26-minute commute on I-3990. And then 16 minutes out to Sauk City on Highway 12 and 17 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your first alert traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary.
Ahead on News 3 at 5, we'll tell you how one ride-sharing service is trying to improve safety for riders. That's next. Uber has added a new safety feature to its app.
Now riders will have a place to call for help if they feel threatened. Kenneth Craig explains.
I am on 57th Street.
Anne-Marie Brown travels for business and uses Uber all over the country. Safety is always on her mind.
Right now what I'm doing, and I know this sounds crazy, I take a picture of whoever it is and send it to my husband. So this is the person that picked me up.
The ride-sharing company is adding new safety features to ease riders' concerns. One of them giving passengers a way to call for help if they need it. The new feature adds an emergency button to the app. It connects you directly to 911 and shows your exact location so you can share it with the dispatcher. An Uber spokesperson told us that feature should be up and running on every user's phone while they're on a trip.
Excellent, thank you.
For us, it took a few tries. At first, the feature did not show up on 3 out of 4 phones. We contacted Uber, and a few hours later it was working. The update, first rolled out on Tuesday, is part of Uber's efforts to rehabilitate its image after a series of sexual assaults. Earlier this month, the company's chief legal officer said the process will continue through this year.
It's a journey. We're in the middle of that journey. We're seeing great results as we're moving forward to actually make sure we're doing the right thing.
In certain test markets, the new safety button will send details, including a description of the car, directly to 911.
Feel safer with these new features?
Yeah, definitely do. Going to the Florida.
Anne-Marie sees any step to improve rider safety as a step forward. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
And we'll give you another check of the forecast in a moment. Stay with us. Finally at 5, an NFL star who Badger fans love with a big heart received a big honor in the heart of Texas.
Former Badger star and current Houston Texan J.J. Watt
received,
is he big. He really is. He received an honorary doctorate from Baylor College in recognition for his efforts during Hurricane Harvey relief. After starting a Harvey relief fundraiser with a goal of $200,000, Watt's charity went on to raise more than $37 million for hurricane victims. In a speech to Baylor's graduates, Watt urged them to be a force for good.
We should mention Ethan Happ tweeted 20 minutes ago that he's coming back next year to play basketball for the Badgers. Jay will have more on that in 30 minutes when we return for News 3 at 6. The CBS Evening News coming your way next. Stand by.